This story is about a young woman who begins to engage in romantic encounters with the tourists visiting her village. We will see what subsequently befalls her in this video. So let's begin. The video opens with a scene of a beautiful mountain village, home to a woman named Amelia. Amelia's village was so picturesque that outsiders frequently visited it for sightseeing. Today was no exception. Two outsiders had arrived to explore the area, and Amelia had spotted them both. Amelia would typically set about her daily chores the moment dawn broke. Her routine always began with prayer. She was in the midst of her morning prayers when a man approached her. His name was James, and he harbored lustful intentions toward Amelia. Amelia detested James and consequently rarely exchanged more than a few words with him. After finishing her prayers, Amelia sat down by the riverbank to wash clothes. Just then, the two outsiders approached her to ask for directions to Black Mountain. The pair consisted of a young man and a young woman. Amelia pointed them toward Black Mountain, whereupon they set off in that direction. Once they had departed, Amelia resumed her laundry. She washed clothes for the villagers, receiving payment in return for her services. Meanwhile, the two outsiders had reached a secluded spot. Seizing the opportunity, they began to engage in intimacy. Amelia, having finished her laundry, was making her way back home. On the path, when she caught sight of the couple in the act, she too became aroused. She sat down right there and began to pleasure herself with her fingers. Some time later, Amelia was attending to her household chores. Her husband's name was Henry. A year prior, Henry had met with an accident that had left him unable to walk. Amelia cared for Henry with unwavering devotion, attending to his every need. That evening, Henry was chatting with Amelia. Although Henry had undergone surgery on his legs, he had not yet regained his mobility. Consequently, his doctor had recommended that he undergo physical therapy. Henry couldn't afford therapy, which is why he had been feeling constantly depressed lately. Amelia reassured him, saying, "I'll save up the money soon, and then I'll get you the kind of therapy that will have you walking again in no time." With those words, she approached Henry and began to arouse him. Due to his accident, however, Henry had lost his virility. Consequently, despite Amelia's many attempts, his stick remained limp, leaving poor Amelia unfulfilled. The very next day, a new young man named Jack arrived in the village for a visit. As usual, Amelia was down by the riverbank washing clothes. Jack approached her and asked for directions to the Black Hills. After giving him directions to the hills, Amelia asked, "Are you traveling alone?" Jack replied, "I don't have a girlfriend, so I came here to travel by myself." Saying this, he handed Amelia an energy bar, which she thoroughly enjoyed. As Jack turned to leave, Amelia offered to walk along with him. Since Amelia's house happened to be located along the very path Jack was taking, she began walking alongside him. After walking for a short while, Amelia twisted her ankle. Seeing this, Jack immediately stepped in to assist her. He quickly and skillfully tended to her sprain. The physical contact with Jack left Amelia feeling aroused. Seizing the opportunity, Jack began to make some explosions inside her cave. The following morning, Amelia was settling accounts with a customer. As soon as the man left, Jack approached her. Amelia asked him, "How did you find your way to my house?" Jack explained, "I simply asked the villagers for directions to your home." Jack had fallen in love with Amelia, which is why he had sought her out. Amelia then revealed to him, "I am married and my husband is right inside the house." Hearing this, Jack was left completely stunned. Amelia also tells him that her husband cannot walk, so she has to take care of him as well. Upon hearing this, Jack reveals that he practices therapy in the city and could help her husband. Hearing Jack's words, Amelia invites him inside and introduces him to her husband, Henry. She lies to Henry, claiming that Jack is merely visiting the area and that the villagers sent him to their home specifically to provide therapy for him. As soon as Amelia finishes speaking, Jack inquires about Henry's condition and then examines his medical reports. After reviewing the reports, he asks about the accident. He is told that Henry had fallen backward from a tree. After listening to the full account, Jack examined Henry's legs. Following the examination, Jack went for a walk with Amelia. He told Amelia that he would begin Henry's therapy very soon and in return would not charge her any money. As they walked, Jack led Amelia toward his tent. Jack lived in this very tent, and seizing the opportunity, he began to make passionate advances toward Amelia. James happened to be in the vicinity as well. The bastard hid himself and secretly recorded a video of them together. The next day, Jack began Henry's therapy sessions. Amelia stood right beside Jack, and whenever the opportunity arose, she would rub her against his back. Henry had his eyes closed due to the pain, so he was unable to witness Amelia's mischievous behavior. A short time later, Amelia was washing clothes by the riverbank when James approached her. As soon as he arrived, he began showing Amelia the video he had recorded, the one capturing the moment she had pleasured Jack. Amelia was furious upon seeing the video, but the scoundrel remained completely unfazed. He told Amelia, "If you don't pleasure me, I will show this video to your husband." Amelia tries to reason with him, telling him that he is doing something wrong, but James refuses to listen and begins to violently invade her cave. James had taken advantage of Amelia's vulnerability, a violation that left her unable to sleep the entire night. The following morning, Jack was once again conducting Henry's therapy sessions. His therapy had worked like magic, enabling Henry to gradually regain his ability to walk. After the session, Henry went off to rest while Jack struck up a conversation with Amelia. As they talked, the chemistry between them grew so intense that they ended up satisfying their mutual desires right outside the house. That night, Henry found himself unable to sleep. Perhaps he wanted to speak with Amelia, but seeing her fast asleep, he remained silent. The next morning, Jack resumed Henry's therapy. Although the treatment had indeed restored Henry's ability to walk, he still did not appear particularly happy. That night, Amelia was with Jack. During their conversation, Jack asked Amelia, "Once your husband fully recovers, what will become of us?" Amelia replied, "My husband's stick doesn't work anymore, so whenever you come to visit the village, we can simply continue to have our fun together." Jack had fallen in love with Amelia. He wanted to take her back to the city and make her his wife. They were still deep in conversation when James suddenly approached them. James was intoxicated at the time. Upon arriving, he immediately began to hurl insults at both of them. Then he turned to Jack and declared, "I have a video of the two of them on my phone." Jack didn't believe him, so James proceeded to show him the footage. James now demanded to violate Amelia's cave once again, and this time he intended to do it right in front of Jack. Amelia adamantly refused to submit to his demands. Enraged by her defiance, the bastard pulled out a gun. Upon seeing the weapon, both Amelia and Jack were terrified beyond words. James pushes Jack aside and orders Amelia to take off her clothes. James was intoxicated and held a gun in his hand. Faced with the situation, Amelia began to undress. Upon seeing her body, James pounced on her. James was doing all of this right in front of Jack. Jack wanted to help Amelia, but James's gun was pointed directly at him. Just then, someone approached from behind and struck James down. It was Henry who had taken James out. Henry had come there to check up on Amelia, as he was aware that she and Jack had an affair. In fact, earlier, while Amelia and Jack were enjoying themselves outside, Henry had spotted them together. Seeing Amelia with Jack had deeply saddened him, yet for the sake of Amelia's happiness, he had chosen to remain silent. Henry revealed to both of them, "I knew everything all along, but I kept quiet for the sake of Amelia's happiness." Hearing the truth from Henry, both Amelia and Jack felt deeply ashamed. They both realized they had committed a wrong, and thus they were eager to make amends. The following morning, Jack was preparing to leave for his home. Before departing, he apologized to Henry for having carried on an affair with his wife. After Jack offered his apology, neither Henry nor Amelia uttered a word. Seeing their silence, Jack turned to leave, but Henry stopped him and said, "It is because of you that I have regained my ability to walk. For that, I thank you. However, do not ever set foot here again after today, nor attempt to mate Amelia ever again." Hearing Henry's words, Jack remained silent, as he was fully prepared to abide by his terms. He shook Henry's hand and then took his leave. Once Jack had departed, Amelia expressed her gratitude to Henry for having forgiven her transgression. She realized that she had found the best husband in the world, one who had chosen to remain silent solely for the sake of her happiness. Incidentally, ever since Henry had regained his ability to walk, his stick had also sprung back into action.
By the end of the story, the couple begins to live happily together, and Henry starts fulfilling Amelia's desires as well. And with that, the story comes to a close. To watch more romantic movies like this one, please subscribe to this channel. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like.